There are 196 countries in the world. I've been to 151 of them, but who's counting, right? And that's about 150 more than most Americans when you consider the fact that only 37% of Americans even have a passport. Mm-hmm. But when people ask me at the end of the day where I want to be, and believe me, I've had the opportunity to see some incredible beauty, some incredible sunsets, some incredible cultures, some incredible gastronomic experiences. I get it. I love it. I live for it. But at the end of the day, where do I want to be? Fire Island and Bayshore. That's it.
That's my whole belong. Like where you belong. That's our new campaign.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon.
And we're here to spill the tea. Long Island tea. Welcome back to Long Island Tea. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Sharon.
And we're here to spill the tea on why we love living on Long Island and why you should live here or at least visit here.
Where you belong on Long Island.
Where you belong, or at least where we belong.
Right.
I don't know about you, but we do. And if you're lucky enough, you should try it out and come visit us. But how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You are doing great.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, you look good. You're glowing.
Oh, you're glowing.
No, I'm just red from the Sauvignon Blanc that we're drinking. We are in the theme today is Fire Island, thanks to our incredible special guest, which I'm so excited about. So we're drinking Fire Island Vines. You picked this up in Bayshore.
Yeah, it was fun.
On your Long Island TV episode, which, by the way, was amazing.
Oh, thank you. We had a great time. This one is actually really cute because it's a husband and wife, a family-owned business in Bayshore, and they actually sell a lot of Long Island wines, but they also have their own wine, Fire Island.
It's delicious.
It's so good, right?
I love it. I'm also a little flushed, I think, already. I know. So if you haven't tuned in to the Long Island TV episode starring Sharon and Bree, it's awesome on Bayshore. And also, you guys show a lot of really cute places to go and see and do on Bayshore, including Fire Island Vines. So thanks for bringing us back.
Thank you. It was fun.
So that is happening. Also, I know it's a little bit delayed, Sharon, but I want to talk to you about the Golden Globes.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, because they're kind of, they were last week or whatever.
Yeah, they were.
Did you watch them?
I caught some glimpses. Can we just talk about how amazing Tina Fey looks?
I was going to say Amy Poehler. Oh, my God.
That's funny.
Both of them. I thought Amy Poehler looked bomb.
She did. But Tina Fey, I mean, that number that she was wearing, I'm like, wow.
But they both
they looked amazing.
And they were so funny. And, we're talking about Women's History Month. And those two ladies.
Oh, my God. Dynamic duo. Like, if we could be anything like them, me and you.
Yeah.
It was so cute, though, like to see all the celebrities in their homes, like accepting the awards and stuff. Like with their,
I don't like it.
You didn't like it? I thought it was cute. You got a little more personal with them.
I'm sick of seeing people's pets.
For sure.
And oh my God, there was one. Who's the mom on Schitt's Creek?
Oh my God, and her husband. Catherine O'Hara.
Like, file for divorce right now.
But he was trying to be funny.
Not funny.
I know.
Not funny. And
but she was like playing into it.
Nope. So
they were trying to joke.
Here's the story, in case you missed it. What's your name? Catherine O'Hara?
Yeah.
Who, by the way, incredible, accomplished actress with storied career. I remember her in Beetlejuice. I think she's amazing.
Beetlejuice, Home Alone.
I love her. Yeah, she's fabulous. So she wins the Golden Globe. And I couldn't figure out what was happening because it cuts to her and it's like...
Yeah, what he was doing. I'm like,
what is this? What is happening? I'm thinking it's the audio again. No, he's sitting next to her because in the world that we're living in, it's not just you go and accept your award and have your moment. It's your family or your spouse. And I was like, this is why nobody else has their spouse with them.
Right.
They're all by themselves. He's playing like an applause sound effect. And you can't hear her talking. And I'm like, what? And then finally it stops and he's like... playing with his phone. I was so angry for her.
Yeah. But I think he was trying to play off of like her character in Schitt's Creek because she's very quirky. She's a very quirky person anyway, but did you watch Schitt's Creek?
But he's not a character.
I know.
In a show. This is her moment.
You're like, pipe down.
I was like, get out. I wasn't even piped down. I was like, and Thomas was like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, this is why you don't have your families, your dogs or your cats. Made me insane.
I know. Did you know that the audiences on both were all essential workers?
That were
cool. In the
That's cool.
I thought
they
that
did
was
say that,
awesome.
and that was cool. And I thought
you could see how happy they were to be there. You know, like that was an incredible.
They're actually
thing.
real people, and they deserve to be there, which is nice, as opposed to just glamorized celebrities. But those award shows are all kind of silly anyway.
Yeah.
But did you see that our favorite show won an award?
I did.
Ted Lasso.
That was awesome.
I'm sorry.
Jason Sudeikis.
Did you?
What was happening?
Did you see this?
I did.
I am obsessed with him.
I
now.
know.
I mean,
he's so awesome.
I was so excited that Ted Lasso won.
I know. I was really surprised, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And obviously he was surprised as well.
Yeah, turns out.
Because he was wearing a tie-dye hoodie.
Yeah.
And he was also, I'm just going to say, maybe a little bit out of it.
Yes, definitely.
So he's like this, like hand on his cheek, head on his cheek, and completely surprised.
Yeah.
And I was watching him, and, you could tell, Sharon, he is going through a dark time.
He's deep in it.
And I immediately recognized it. I was like, oh, yeah.
I get it.
I went through that. It's called divorce, right? Splitting up, whether he wasn't officially married, but same thing.
Right.
And so I showed you a picture, because you saw the picture of him, and I was like, I have that literal exact same picture that I
think
took
it's hysterical.
at the middle of my 20-year divorce.
You're literally like in the same exact position.
So I'm gonna show it to you right now. I side by sided it.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna give it to Catherine.
For the post. Oh my God.
You're gonna die.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
It's exact.
Yeah. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna give it to Catherine to put on the T.
Oh my
God. Go on the
God.
T social if you want to see this picture.
That's hysterical.
I was like, I see you.
Yeah. Definitely.
I've been there, Jason Sudeikis. And it doesn't matter if you are the person getting left or if you're the person leaving. The end of an incredible relationship when you have children together, it's just so hard. And he's so sweet.
Yeah.
And Don Cheadle's like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
He's giving him the wrap up sign. He's like, just
keep going.
He's trying to help him. He's like, right, I'm gonna just wrap it up. Thank you, Don. He's like, anyway. But that's true. Like, to your point, Sharon, it gives you those humane moments when people are at home and he's in his hoodie and he's like, I'm probably not going to win, so I'm just going to sit here.
I'll log in.
Yeah. And there is kind of an authenticity about this world that we're living in today. And that part was really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Golden Globes, I give it to him. It was hard to do.
Yeah, definitely.
And there was some definitely memorable moments throughout. So cheers to our best friends, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, speaking of that, actually, is like celebrity best friends. Because I was thinking about it. Like, they're so cute, and I feel like we could be best friends. And then somebody else, I was listening to Howard Stern. Okay, backtrack for a second. So I was listening to Howard Stern because he was playing the Golden Globes. He was doing like a Golden Globes recap. Right. So funny. He was talking about the word tea as gossip. Yeah. He was like, I don't get it. What is this word? Spill the tea.
What does this mean? I don't know.
And I was like, what? We're the tea.
Is he talking about us?
Yeah. And so I recorded it, and we'll put that also on social because prior to the Golden Globes is like the red carpet. Right. But they kept saying, what's the tea? The tea. Oh, I have some tea. So Howard Stern did a montage
of everybody
saying tea.
That's so funny.
And then it cuts back to him, and he's like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Apparently it's a thing. And Robin's like, I hope it doesn't catch on.
Right. They're a little late.
I was like, it's caught on. We have a show called The Tea.
Hello, Howard.
Yeah. Anyway, but when I was listening to Howard Stern, who is also from Long Island. Mm-hmm. He's from Roosevelt. Yeah. Long Island.
Yeah, he had an incredible... I keep telling you to watch it. It's the David Letterman show with him.
Oh, yeah.
He goes through his childhood and everything that he went through. It's pretty amazing.
I want to watch this David Letterman show you've been talking about. Yeah, you were telling me about that. I'm going to cue that up this weekend.
They had Barack Obama.
No, I'm going to do it this weekend because you were telling me about it. It's awesome. But I was listening to Howard Stern, and his guest was somebody, and I was listening to her, and I'm like, another Long Island resident. She has a house in Amagansett. And I'm like, okay, she could be my best friend. I was like, if we met like randomly, like at a party at a network, like I promise you, this woman and I would be besties.
You're hysterical.
I know. I'm telling you. So it is Drew Barrymore.
Huh?
Drew Barrymore is I've decided, is my celebrity bestie.
She has a house in Amagansett?
Amagansett.
That's amazing.
She has a house in Amagansett. She's my age, and I just loved her on Howard Stern, and I've always loved Drew Barrymore. You know, I love all of the movies that she does,
Yeah.
and I think what is so endearing about her is that she's very genuine. She's the girl next door, right? She's the approachable person that is like this incredible. She's so talented and wonderful, but she's so down to earth and so like humble, and she's got this fun like kind of bohemian vibe energy.
She's so cool. I
know?
follow her on Instagram. She's another one with like incredible childhood history.
You know, and I feel she takes it all in stride. She was talking to Howard about it. She's been working
Since
child
she's like
actress,
12,
you know, supporting her family, and she's always been kind of this identity of trying to give back to everybody, and she puts herself last. She's always like for everybody, but she went through a divorce too,
right?
And she's talking about now she's starting to date, and she's on dating apps.
I love her. She's awesome.
And now, of course, they're like industry dating apps, you know.
Yeah, they're different.
But still, she's like, people think.
How do you get on one of those? I wonder.
I don't know, but it doesn't sound appealing according to her.
Okay.
I was like, if I was single, I'd still be like, nah.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you know, she goes, what is the deal with these guys? And she's like, we're all in the industry. Like,
Right.
she's Drew Barrymore, for God's sakes.
Right, exactly.
And she's like, these guys are on here and they're like trying to be coy, and they have these pseudonyms, and their Instagrams are private, and they're like, she's like, just tell me who you are.
Right, exactly.
Just
she's all
who
over the place.
are you? What do you like to do? What are your interests?
Right. She's got a couple kids, right?
Like, yeah. We're like in our, you know, mid to late 40s now.
Right.
You can just be you.
Yeah.
And I'll be me, and we'll see if that works.
She's so cute. Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, you know, she said people think there's this Drew Barrymore effect, and there's not.
Right.
And like I feel for her, because I was like literally thinking about single guys that I knew. I would
you want to like email her.
Drew,
I got you, girl.
but I really don't, because I couldn't think of any single guys that were worthy of Drew Barrymore. Obviously, I was like, no,
maybe not.
I want to help you, because she's going out on these dates with people. And she's like, and so Howard was like, what's a date like? She's like, oh, I'm in my sweats, and I usually just like go to their house, you know, because she can't go out anywhere because she's a superstar.
Right. Okay.
And I just, you think that, like she said, I love that she said, you think there'd be this Drew Barrymore effect, but the reality is it's much harder for her.
Right.
To date. So I remember when I very first moved here, because when I was in Arizona, I wasn't the CEO. I was like the number 2, so I was kind of behind the scenes more.
Right.
And I had just, you know, split up or whatever. When I first moved here, I was totally single, completely free, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get on a dating app, you know, and see what's going. And I'll never forget, I had just moved here, and there was like whatever, a couple articles about me, and I didn't have my whole name. I didn't have my real name on there, but I said like transplant and tourism industry, whatever, and my picture's on there. And I'll never forget, I was talking to one guy, and he was like, I'm really interested in your marketing strategy for what you're doing. I was
He's
like,
talking
oh,
about
dear
this
God,
on a dating app?
I like,
you're like, no.
He's like, hey, welcome. I'm like, thank you.
Really
and he's
appealing.
like, I read your article in Newsday. I'm like, okay. Delete.
Yeah, done.
I was like, delete the whole app.
Forget it.
It was like a 5-minute thing, because it's like when you're, you know, in the public eye.
Yeah.
Even on my level, which is like nothing.
Right, but you're out there and people know.
Can you imagine Drew Barrymore being a celebrity and trying to date, and everybody's watched your movies and think they know you? And so, Catherine, if you're listening, tag Drew Barrymore on
That's
this.
so funny.
And tell her that we love her. We love that she lives in Long Island. She's adorable. And to keep up the good work, she's doing good stuff, and that we want to be her friend, and she can come on our show.
I love it.
So what about you? Do you?
I totally have one.
Okay, who is your celebrity bestie?
And I don't know if you. So it's funny because it's Christina Applegate.
Of course.
Of course.
No, oh my God.
Of course, it's Christina Applegate.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
Who?
I thought you were going to say Teresa Caputo.
No.
I don't know why. Because of
Long Island.
Because of Long Island.
You know, for so long, like I had that haircut, and everybody would be like, "Oh, you're like the medium, the Long Island medium." And I'm like,
I mean, we love Teresa Caputo.
Yeah,
obviously.
She's amazing. I can't wait to get her on this show.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she probably would be our best friends
too.
Oh,
for sure.
But
I watched her show like for the longest time. Like she had her reality show on some channel. I don't know what channel it was, but it was her like going around Long Island. She'd be like randomly going into like supermarkets and like.
Don't ever do that to me, Teresa. Teresa, if you're listening, if you see me in a supermarket, never tell me my fortune.
I love it.
Or whatever
Find
it's called.
me, Teresa. I have the same haircut.
You do not.
Not anymore.
No, but no, she's fabulous. But Teresa, if she come on the show, I don't want her to tell me.
I love that. I love
you
that.
Want you want to know?
Yeah.
Oh my
totally.
God. Oh, she's gonna be like, I see you hitting a pothole and going into a deep coma or something.
Oh my God.
Anyway, no,
Christina
Applegate. I can totally see it. She's awesome.
She's amazing.
She's so cool.
I just love everything she does.
Yeah.
And she's just hysterical. And I
she's
think like
edgy and fun.
Yeah.
I love her.
You totally get her.
Yeah.
You know?
She's talented, but she's super intense.
Super intense. And like her facial expressions and things like that. Like you just want to be like,
you get her.
I totally get her.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Okay, so anyway, I Drew, if
Call
you're calling,
me.
And Christina too. Christina is that show dead to me.
I know, it's so awesome.
It's really incredible. So, what else was I going to talk to you about? The winter is kind of like we're in that between winter and spring stage.
Yeah.
And you know how else you know that?
How?
Because when I go to Costco,
right,
there's kayaks.
Oh,
in the aisle now.
All right.
Yes, Costco has transitioned.
Okay.
Which is how that's my personal transition.
All right.
I'm aligned with Costco.
Of course you are. That's hysterical.
Yeah. So I'm like,
so wait, are you flipping your porch?
No, I have not flipped my porch yet. It's too cold still to go outside.
Like there's no blooms yet.
Yeah, not yet. But it's daffodils that bloom all over, isn't it? Like
like this time of year, a little later.
Oh my God, I'm so excited! I can't wait for those little spring blooms to come up. So exciting! No, we'll do a whole flip the porch thing when it's like moms and daffodils. Yeah, I'm so excited. But mostly, I'm excited for our guest, who is on the show today. And I've known him for a zillion years. I won't even tell you how many years. But he's a big deal. He's a CBS travel correspondent. He is pretty much the global go-to for what's happening in the travel industry. And he reports investigatively and on features. And he talks about like what's happening in the airline industry. And he's truly the travel source of information. Not just nationally on CBS, but globally. And turns out he's from Long Island.
I know.
Fire Island.
Isn't that awesome?
Right. And this is how we know we're in an awesome destination is when like the key people in the travel industry that could live anywhere in the world.
And they choose here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's
so
like
cool.
also your hood.
Yeah, I
your
know.
neighborhood.
It's so awesome. So
I'm going to say this is a win for the South Shore.
Sure. 100%. 100%.
This is a check for Sharon's South Shore lifestyle. So we're really excited to welcome the incomparable and the professional Peter Greenberg. All right, so Sharon, we have a very special guest on our show today.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal.
He is a big deal.
And I'm proud to say that he has been like a friend and colleague of mine for, I won't even tell you how many years, over 20 years. Been working with him in the industry. He's been a mentor to so many of us in the industry for so long. And then I'm at a trade show after I moved here, right? And we have like the Long Island sign, and Peter comes up to me and he's like, I'm from Long Island. Did you know that? I'm like, what? And it's one of those things so like I always tell you, everyone has these Long Island connections, right?
Right.
And
6 degrees, right?
Yeah. And so our guest today is the incomparable Mr. Peter Greenberg. So Peter Greenberg, thank you for being here.
Happy to be with you.
So Peter, your career spans, I don't even know how many years. And I shouldn't say it anyway, but it's amazing. CBS travel correspondent, multiple Emmy Award winner. I've been on your radio show many times over the years.
Author of 9 books.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And one of my favorite ones is actually, he's an investigative reporter and really the person that reports on all things travel. But I loved his book, The Travel Diet, which, was kind of really groundbreaking at the time that you can travel. And in our business, we're always eating food. If you watch Long Island TV, it's always like, oh, I got to eat this, hero. And you're always, at all these fancy dinners. But you can do it and live a lifestyle that is still healthy. And that was a great groundbreaking book that you wrote. But what people don't know about you, too, is that me coming from the PR world is that you also play a really behind the scenes role with so many destinations, helping them to better communicate their brands, their visuals throughout the year. And I've been in many of your sessions and educational conferences where you've given great tips to destinations. So we're really excited for you to be here. And you're a Fire Island, Long Island resident.
I am. And in fact, I'm a Fire Island resident and a Long Island resident, both. That's right. So I live in Fire Island. I've lived in Fire Island since I'm a year and a half old. I take it back, since I'm 6 months old. And I also have a house in Bayshore. And there's a great story with that house, built in 1910. And in fact, I'll be out there tomorrow. So I can't wait.
That's awesome. You know what? I'm a Bayshore resident too. It's my hometown. So I know those houses that you're talking about, they're gorgeous.
Well, it's a house that I saw, if you know Maple Avenue.
Yep.
You go down Maple Avenue if you're going to catch the ferry to Fire Island. So from a very early age, of course, I was sitting in the car with my parents as they drove down Maple Avenue to race after the ferry to catch it before it left. And when you look out the window on both sides of that street, you see these beautiful old estates, sort of like F. Scott Fitzgerald kind of houses on big plots of land on the canals with boathouses and boats. And I've been salivating for that house since I was 6 months old. And in 1978, I was coming down Maple Avenue on my way back to Los Angeles because I also lived there. And there was this house I'd seen since I was 6 months old with a sign on it saying, "For sale by owner." And I got to Kennedy, and I called the guy, and it's an amazing story. And he told me everything about the house. And I was getting on a plane to go to LA. My mom was on Fire Island at the time, and she was also a real estate broker. And I called her up on the phone. I said, "Do not react as my mother. React as my broker. Get on the next ferry boat, go across the bay, and get this house." She said, but you haven't even been in the house. I said, "I'm telling you, get this house." And I said, and she said, but you've never even. I said, "Mom, the dock is worth the house."
Right.
Get the house.
Property alone is worth the house.
Here's the story that I've never told anybody. She didn't think I could afford it. She didn't react as my broker. She reacted as my mother. And she went over and bought the house from under me.
Oh my gosh.
And yes.
I said it last week. Never go into business with your family, financial stuff.
Right.
It's always a bad idea.
So she buys the house out from under me in 1978. And for the next 15 years, she redid the house. She rented it out to some nurses from Southside Hospital. Wow. She rented out boat slips. I was so angry that I never set foot in the house in 15 years.
Oh my God.
And then 15 years later, without telling me, and by the way, I love my mother dearly, but 15 years later, without telling me, she sells the house. Now I become completely, I don't know what to do. And I become the Clint Eastwood character in Grand Ford Torino. Every time I'm driving down Maple Avenue, I would stop whoever was in my car with me and go, "You see that house? God damn it, blah, blah, blah."
That was once mine supposed to be.
Here we go. The story's not over. Cut to 2015. I'm producing a 1-hour special with the president of Ecuador. He's at the United Nations. I'm with him. And so many of my friends knew the story about this house. And while I'm with him to go into a meeting, I get a text from a friend of mine saying, "Does this address on Maple Avenue ring a bell to you?" I went, "What are you talking about?" They said, "It's for sale." And I looked at the president of Ecuador and I said, "Mr. President, I need you to do me a favor. I've been waiting to do something here for 37 years. Can we postpone our meeting till tonight? I have to do something."
Okay. Yeah, I got priorities. Okay.
I called the real estate broker who I knew. I said, "Meet me at this house on Maple Avenue in 1.5 hours." I jumped in my car. I raced out to Bayshore. And for the first time in 37 years, I walked into the house.
Wow.
An hour later, I bought it.
It's amazing.
And now that house has come back into the family.
That's amazing.
Well, and now you know how hard it is to get a house on Fire Island.
Yeah.
I know, it's true.
Especially since the pandemic, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Long Island is, people don't realize the real estate right now is booming, but it's a coveted place to live. And even trying to rent one of those houses on Fire Island during the summer, and even in the Hamptons too, it's almost like me being a transplant here. I'm like, you have to have friends. You have to know somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's really interesting about it is normally, and I don't put myself in the normal category, but normally people will go out to Fire Island between Memorial Day and Labor Day. My parents and I and our family have been going out from like April 1st till November.
Yeah.
And well, guess what? Now everybody's going out from March 1st to November.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the kids are not in school, they can learn remotely.
Yep.
And it's changed.
It has changed, and it's changed for the entire market too of Long Island, with, Manhattanites. Our proximity to Manhattan allows us so much opportunity, not only to have, national names and celebrities like yourself and all of the celebrities that live, in Hamptons, and all of the executives and corporate leaders and Forbes 500 people that are here in the summer. But now we're getting a lot of people that just say, you know what, turns out I didn't want to go back so early, or I wanted to stay longer this year. And they're like, it's actually quite nice. Yeah. And the schools are great. And they're like, maybe I won't ever go back.
Right.
No, I'm happy to be there as often as I can be there.
And that says a lot about the destination and you, Peter, because you go all over the world. I mean, is there anywhere in the world that you have not been?
Yeah, actually there is. There are 196 countries in the world. I've been to 151 of them, but who's counting, right? And that's about 150 more than most Americans when you consider the fact that only 37% of Americans even have a passport.
Mm-hmm.
But when people ask me at the end of the day where I want to be, and believe me, I've had the opportunity to see some incredible beauty, some incredible sunsets, some incredible cultures, some incredible gastronomic experiences. I get it. I love it. I live for it. But at the end of the day, where do I want to be? Fire Island and Bayshore. That's it.
That's my
where
whole
you belong.
Where you belong. That's our new campaign. I'm not sure if you realize, but where you belong on Long Island is our campaign.
I love it. Well, you know what? I really believe it. And we are always, if we're lucky, searching for community, and if we're lucky, we find it. Those are my communities. It's my neighborhood here in Manhattan, and Bayshore and Fire Island. That's it. I'm happy.
But you don't just live there, Peter. You are a true community. You donate your time. You're a volunteer. It's like, what am I saying this right? 50 years on the volunteer fire department. Actually,
I have to tell you, it's 53 now.
Wow.
Now you understand how
53 years on the Fire Island, fire department as a volunteer.
Correct. And nobody gets paid. We go through all the same training as Bayshore does. We go through all the same training as New York City does. So in a given, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, I'm probably doing 5 or 6 different recurrent training sessions. We're drilling every weekend. And we do mutual aid with all the departments on Long Island and all the departments on Fire Island. There are about 12 fire departments on Fire Island, actually.
I was going to ask, how many are there? How many people are in each department?
It varies. In our department, we have about 60.
Okay.
We're never going to have 60 at any one time, but especially at this time of the year. But in the summer months, we can, we'll have at least when the alarm goes off. And my house is about 5 doors down from the firehouse. So when the alarm goes off and I'm on the island, I'm one of the first 2 people at the house, and the first 5 guys on the truck, or the first 5 women on the truck moves. So we have a very good response time.
I just saw a stat the other day, because one of the shows that we did, and you'll have to go back and I'd love to hear your feedback on some of our shows, because we talk about what it's like to live, work, and visit Long Island, right? And Sharon and I do it from our own perspective. I'm a transplant, she's a native, I'm North Shore, she's South Shore, but it's really, me as a transplant, it's a very nuanced place coming from Arizona, and all of my colleagues there, you've been there many times, but it's really, people don't know what life is like here. And one of the shows that we did was dedicated to how many towns, villages, hamlets are on Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
And I just saw a stat the other day that there are 118 different fire departments on Long Island, and that's more than Manhattan and LA combined.
Wow, that I didn't know. That's cool stuff.
Yeah, I am.
And you have to understand that in terms of community, when I get on the back of the truck, who's on the truck with me, right? It's, my neighbor or a plumber or an electrician or the doctor or, a guy in New York who's a lawyer. We're just all doing it together, and it brings people together. And that's not just true for Fire Island or Bayshore. That's true for the United States. 74% of all firefighters in America are volunteer, and people don't know that.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I thought that was like a total nuance here, but that's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it is like, that community of Long Island, and you're definitely a fabric of that for Fire Island. And Fire Island in and of itself, I find, again, and we're drinking Fire Island Vines Sauvignon Blanc for your, in honor of you.
Thank you.
And Fire Island. When I first moved here, people don't realize. So it's a long barrier island that goes almost the whole length of Long Island. You can see it probably in the maps behind me. Yeah. But it is this little island. There's no cars.
Right. Except for fire trucks.
Except for fire trucks. So you have to take a ferry to get there. And it's, like you said, there are so many different fire departments because there's so many different islands on Fire Island alone, and they all have their own individual personality.
They do. Fire Island is actually 32 miles long. It never gets more than a third of a mile wide. There are, if you include everybody, about 19 separate communities on Fire Island, 12 of which have fire departments. So we mutually aid everybody else. And if you're a kid on Fire Island, you can't get in trouble. I mean, unless you calculate and then your parents ground you. But the point is, it's a great place to grow up. It's a great place to be now because, without sounding like I'm writing a brochure here, Fire Island, every time I go to Fire Island, it allows me to relive my youth, my innocence, and my freedom. And I will have that opportunity tomorrow.
Yay.
And every time I go, and it never fails to deliver that.
So, but it's funny because I think most people who have heard of Fire Island from a marketing standpoint have heard of the LGBTQ.
Oh yeah, listen,
portion, right?
Let me tell you my story with that.
Okay.
When I was I was completely nuts for boats. I still am. And when I was growing up on Fire Island in the summers, a lot of parents bought their kids boats. Well, my parents were not about to buy me a boat. It was a big red flag item in our discussions in the household. And finally, when I was 12 years old, my dad threw down the gauntlet. He says, I don't want to hear this anymore. If you want to get a boat, you're going to have to earn every dollar of it yourself, and you have to pass a Coast Guard captain's exam. I'm 12 years old. So I said, okay, you're on. And the summer of my 13th year, I held down 6 jobs on Fire Island. 6. I never slept. And that fall, I went to Hunter College at night at the age of 13, and I became a Coast Guard captain. And then my parents couldn't turn me down. So the beginning of my 14th year, I was out there and bought a 13-foot Boston whaler, a classic boat on the bay, with a 35 horsepower engine, and I put it to work as a water taxi. Illegal, of course. I'm 13. But I was driving up and down that. That's how I learned Fire Island, because I'm going all over the island, from Kismet and the lighthouse all the way over to the Mauritius Inlet, taking people. And what did I learn from a very early age? Sexual preference tolerance, because I was taking everybody to Cherry Grove and the Pines. And when you're 14 years old, you know what you get to do in Cherry Grove and the Pines? Who was performing there on the weekends? Judy Garland, Ethel Merman. I mean, it was like Bette Midler, Barry Manilow. Everybody was performing. So the best entertainment going. They had the best parties. And you know what? Yeah, they were the 2 gay communities. But when you're 14 years old, in those days, they weren't called gay. They were homosexual, right? But in those days, you learn sexual preference tolerance way before anybody else. And the funny thing is, during those years, on The Tonight Show, Johnny Carson would always make Fire Island jokes about people who were gay, right? When that was considered okay to joke about that. And so when I became, 19 and 20 and going to college, everybody thought I was gay.
Because you were there all the, it does. It has that association, right?
Oh, yeah. So, and by the way, I was single all my life until 2 years ago when I got married.
I know. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you. But for all those years I was single, it worked so well for me because every woman thought I was safe.
Yeah.
right? Oh, listen, he lives by himself. He's on Fire Island. He's collecting antiques. It was,
like, wink, wink.
It was everything short of me singing Broadway show tunes, right? So, and so it was the best of all worlds. And it's interesting because we cross-train with all the departments, including the Pines and Cherry Grove. So all of our hazmat is done by the chief of the Cherry Grove department. A lot of our other training is done in Pines. So that sexual preference tolerance continues to this day, even though only 2 of the communities on Fire Island are really, predominantly gay. Everybody still thinks of us in that way, and they don't realize everybody's on Fire Island. You have family communities, you have single communities, you have mixed communities, you have gay. It's everybody.
It's so, and that's one of the things I love about Long Island. And I think it's our proximity to New York City, is how diverse
we
are, ethnically, sexual orientation wise, and accepting of all of these different religions. Like, no one cares, and everyone's very accepting, and I love that. We have people that live here because of the different labs and science facilities we have and universities. We have people from all over the world that live, here to do science. But even what I thought was great, like, it's just it's like this nuance, though. I keep using that word, but because people don't understand. So even when I went the first time, I've heard of the LGBT. So I went to the Pines, and I was like, okay, where the invasion? You've heard about the Pines invasion.
You haven't lived until you've seen the invasion.
And I went the week after. I was kind of glad my first time. But even between Cherry Grove and the Pines, which are the LGBTQ community,
very different.
Completely different. Yep. The Pines, this is my own description because I went there and I loved it. And I love all of the different communities. That's what's so cool, is they're all different experiences. But first of all, you take a ferry from Long Island mainland, like Bayshore.
From Sayville. No, if you're going to the Pines, you're going from Sayville, yeah.
Yeah, so if you go to Cherry Grove or the Pines, you go from Sayville. So this is the whole thing you have to figure out. Like, you really have to.
And if you're going from Davis Park, you're going from Patchogue. And then and then everywhere else is coming from Bayshore.
Right. And so it's for an outsider, think about that. For a visitor, there's a lot to understand about it. But you go to the Pines, and the Pines is very like bougie, quiet. It's LGBTQ, but it's like very low key, right? And then Cherry Grove, the second you're like, the ferry is pulling up to Cherry Grove, and you can hear the music, and you get off, and there's like drag queens, and everything was fabulous. And there's like, what are the drinks? Rocket fuels that are just so beautiful, and it's crazy. And so, do you tell the story of the invasion? Do you know it well enough to?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Cherry Grove, and you mentioned it, Cherry Grove and the Pines, 2 different communities, and for a long period of time, they wanted to be separated, and they didn't talk to each other. And one day, a bunch of the folks in Cherry Grove decided, you know what, we're not going to put up with this anymore. We're going to go crash the party, and they invaded, and it turned out to be quite a party. And ever since then, and this is going back 50 years, right? Ever since then, on July 4th, they will take a Cherry Grove ferry and almost overload it beyond human comprehension. With every costume and drag queen conceivable. And they will sail that boat a distance of maybe a mile at the most, from Cherry Grove into the Fire Island Pines Harbor, where thousands of people are there, and it becomes the entertainment event of the year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's unbelievable. And thank God I have good friends at the Fire Island Pines Fire Department, because I get a front row seat. Otherwise, I couldn't get in.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's really, I mean, it's very difficult to experience because it's sold out. It is the place to be. July 4th weekend, which is an epic weekend anywhere on Long Island anyway. But the funny thing is like, I love going to Cherry Grove because of the party, and it's fun. You take a ferry, and it's like 20 minutes from my house from the North Shore, right? It's only 20 minutes. And you get on a ferry, and the ferry ride in and of itself is amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's entertaining. And then you get up 20 minutes, and then you land, and then you walk maybe 10 minutes from one side of the, and you're on this pristine beach with giant, beautiful waves. Yeah. I mean, it is the sand is just like.
I will tell you a story.
Okay.
And this has happened with me now as long as I can remember. For anybody who's a friend of mine who's never been to Fire Island, and I tell them, you got to come over.
Call Peter today.
I have my own boat, so I don't take the ferry boat. I go from my house in Ocean Bay Park is on the water with a dock. My house in Bayshore has the dock. So I'm basically dock to dock. So I'm not running after a ferry. So we get to my house in Bayshore. They get on the boat, and they're telling me all the things they want to do when they get to Fire Island. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I said, great. We go across the bay. That takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes. My boat is a little bit faster than the ferry. We get to my house. I'm tying it up on the dock. They get off the boat. I say, go upstairs on the sun deck, relax. I'll come up and see you in a second. I tie the boat up. I walk down the boardwalk. I come upstairs to the house. They're asleep.
Yeah.
Because the air is so clean.
Mm-hmm.
It just knocks them out. And I'm going to say something that's going to sound overtly promotional, but I believe it. Somebody always asks me, where are my favorite places in the world? And I say, I'll give you my criteria. It's where I sleep the best, right? Because where you sleep the best is where you think the best, where you create the best, where you love the best. It's all there. And so since I can remember, where I sleep the best is Fire Island. Right?
Oh, I love that. I love that, where you sleep the best.
And there are noises that you associate with that, right? The noise of the screen door closing. You know, the noise of even hearing. When I was growing up, you could tell the difference of every ferry boat by the sound of their engine as they came across the bay. And every kid knew it. It was like city kids could spot the fins on a 57 Plymouth. Fire Island kids could hear the engine noise of the ferry and know which one it was.
Yeah.
And it's, look, what I look forward to most, and this, by the way, applies to Bayshore as well, I guarantee you I will be asleep tomorrow in Bayshore before I know it. Because that's the feeling.
And my kids, I've taken my daughters there, and I've taken my Chihuahua there at the Cherry Grove, which I love because it's like everybody has small dogs. But there are certain times when the girls are like, Mom, we don't necessarily want the Cherry Grove scene this weekend. Let's go somewhere else. And the cool thing is you can either take a water taxi or you can take a different ferry to a different part of the island. And then you've got Ocean Beach. Is it Ocean Beach?
Yeah.
Ocean Beach and Kismet.
Right.
And those are completely different. Family oriented, no dogs, no this, no that, no drinks on the beach, all that. But wonderful for families and getaways or couples.
Yeah. It's true. And by the way, there's such a history there. The lighthouse, built in 1858, no longer operated by the Coast Guard, but still operating. Kismet, you mentioned. Kismet was a major destination at the turn of the last century. It's where Diamond Jim Brady used to hang out. It was also one of the great transshipment points for all the bootleggers during Prohibition.
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
Absolutely. And of course, people don't remember, but my parents, they're not alive anymore, but they would definitely remember because they fought against this. You know the name Robert Moses.
Of course.
Robert Moses, there's the Robert Moses Bridge that gets you to Fire Island.
Mm-hmm. Which is the best bridge ever. Is that the best bridge ever?
It's great. But here's the best part about the bridge. That's as far as it goes. Because Robert Moses, in his megalomaniacal development days, wanted to build a highway across Fire Island, 32 miles. And my parents, who were not politically active, but everybody on Fire Island was opposed to this, they marched, they went to Washington, they lobbied. Turns out that Senator Jacob Javits had a house in Seaview on Fire Island. Turns out that our Congressman, Mayor John Lindsay, who then became the mayor of New York, also visited Fire Island a lot. Now, they were both Republicans, but you know what? They lobbied so hard that in 1964, as Moses was about to build this highway across Fire Island, which would have destroyed it, they got in a bipartisan move in Congress with LBJ as president, and they got him to sign it, making Fire Island a national seashore.
Yeah.
When that happened in 1964, all that construction was stopped. The bridge only went as far as Fire Island. You can park there, but you can't move your car from there. And the rest of that 32 miles is as pristine now as it was then. And if you go a little bit east of Davis Park, you have about 18 miles of untouched, barren, beautiful beach. That is part of the National Seashore.
I've talked to the park rangers there in Patchogue that go to Davis Park, and it's like a wildlife refuge over there. Yeah. Like that's another part of Fire Island, which is completely different. And you can have your kids go through like park ranger training, and it's completely different than the rest of it.
And remember this, when you have no cars on Fire Island except for police and fire vehicles, and they're limited in number, you get around by walking, by biking to a certain extent, or literally, you take a water taxi laterally across the island to go anywhere you want to go. And your whole pace comes down. Mm-hmm. You're not rushing anywhere. Yeah. And to me, look, I've been there since I'm 6 months old. I'm still discovering things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just so funny. Again, there are things that people who've lived there your whole lives, they're like, yeah, it's what we do. But Sharon and I have talked about this before, because we both had I went for a weekend. Sharon went for a whole week with her family, and it's not as easy. Like, you have a house there. Bless you. Okay. Right. I need to make a friend that
find somebody that
bless my parents.
Bless your parents. But if you don't, it's funny because Fire Island is known for the wagons.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So everybody has the wagons, the radio flyers, right when the boat drops you off, and you have like your little wagon hook. It's almost like a locker, right? With your own, and they're all personalized, and you put your stuff from the grocery store, because there's not, especially depending on which island you're on, there might be one little market. So you got to bring your stuff. And the first time I went, you'll die laughing. I just know you'll know this visual. I went with my friend, you might even know her, Sherry Eisenberg. She's a travel writer there in Manhattan. So we go to Fire Island, and I had, as a desert rat, right? I would love the beach. So I bought my Costco, beach caddy thing with the chairs, and I had a cooler, loaded down with everything. And my beach caddy was stacked with tons of stuff, umbrellas. And, we didn't know exactly, because you get off, and then there's these winding boardwalks that go to all the different houses, and it's magical. But you have to kind of know where you're going. Yeah. We're going, I can't tell you, I'm pushing the caddy, she's dragging the cooler, and then we would switch out. The sweat, what are we doing? What is all this crap that we have? I was ready to ditch all of it and just stop it, because but you had to stock up for your house for the weekend. But it was a learning lesson, and now I know, just minimalize.
Yeah.
Get what you need, basic stuff. This is not a place where you're, going and having the luxurious. It's peaceful.
Right.
So don't do what I did. Come in like the Griswolds with all of your stuff pushing. I was like, no. She's like, what is all that? I don't know. I'm as a weekend. Anyway, it's a truly magical place, and Long Island has been a great, great place to come and move to. And I moved my daughters here, and I always talk about the schools.
Yeah.
Because people talk about how expensive Long Island is, and it's ridiculous. It can be.
It can be, but you know what? I don't know what your experience has been, but I don't find Bayshore outrageously expensive.
Yeah. Bayshore is probably one of the ones. It depends on where, right? It's all depending on where. But the interesting thing is the property taxes here are big, but 70% of it goes towards the schools.
Right.
And the schools here are amazing. And my daughters are definitely, they consider themselves New Yorkers now, and couldn't imagine living anywhere else, and are so spoiled. And let's go to Fire Island. Let's go to the Hamptons. Let's go to the Gold Coast mansions. Right. Mom, what are we doing this weekend? Jones Beach. I know what I was going to tell you. Speaking of Robert Moses, I'm working my way through The Power Broker, as it's required reading.
It's required reading. Yep.
But it's a process. So I don't know if I've gotten to the part where he's quite maniacal yet, but I'm still.
Listen to this. I never forgave the Dodgers for leaving Brooklyn for LA. And right before the Dodgers left, they were shown a place where they could build a stadium and they could stay. And Robert Moses basically said, no, you can't do that. We're using it for something else. And the Dodgers got mad and left. Well, that's where Citi Field is today.
Mm-hmm. So I know where you stand on Robert Moses. I can tell by basing.
Oh, look, the guy was brilliant in one case, but is also arrogant in another.
Right.
And what he tried to do to Fire Island was unforgivable.
Yeah. And what he did for Long Island was incredible. You're right. It's two different juxtapositions. Yeah. What he did for New York State parks and Long Island was unbelievable. But then you're right. the overstepping.
Fire Island for him and for me was a bridge too far.
Yeah.
And he paid a price for it because we beat him.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it's hard because you want to develop things on Long Island. You want to grow, but then you look at what we've preserved and how we all enjoy it now today as residents, and the preservation it's hard, and people fight for it in their local communities, but it's important. Yeah. And it's a great place. And I'm so happy to have you as a resident. I mean, you're like pretty much our marketing campaign. All I have to say is Peter Greenberg lives here. Purposefully, like this is Peter Greenberg's favorite place. So, and he's been
It is. And seriously, so many of my friends have become converts because, and this is no disrespect to the Hamptons, but they were a Hamptons crowd. And I keep telling them, I get that, but Fire Island is the Hamptons without the attitude.
Yep. Yeah. It's and it depends. And what I love about it, again, there's something on Fire Island for everyone.
Yes.
If you have little kids, or if you want a romantic, quiet weekend, or if you want to go party, or if no matter who you are or what stage you're at in life, there is an island on Fire Island for you. Yeah, definitely. And so we really help you. We're really happy that you help us spread the word, because it's an educational thing. People don't understand it. It's really so much for the locals and the residents of the Manhattanites that have grown up with it. And it's important that people understand what a gem it is.
Well, from my apartment here in New York, if you time it right, my drive time to Bayshore is 58 minutes. And I'm there.
Yeah. So, and in most places, you can also take the Long Island Railroad from Manhattan. Yeah.
You can take the Long Island Railroad to you know where Maple Avenue is. You take the Long Island Railroad to Bayshore, get off the railroad, as long as your luggage has wheels, you walk 3 blocks, you're at my house.
Yeah. Same, and Patchogue's the same way. You can take the Long Island Railroad to the Patchogue station. You literally get off the dock and walk right onto the ferry.
Yeah.
And in Sayville too, it's like a 2-minute. Okay. Yeah. So it's a great destination. We're so happy. We do a solid, and we also have Long Island TV.
Yeah.
And when the weather gets a little bit nicer, I'd love to go see your house and have you kind of be our tour guide of Fire Island. Awesome.
Happy to do that. We'll even put you on the boat and take you by boat.
Ooh. So excited, VIP. I think I finally have I have a friend on Fire Island now. Finally, so I apologize in advance. I'm going to call you all the time.
That's okay.
Peter,
you can leave the cooler at home.
Yeah, Peter's like, leave your Tommy Bahama caddy from Costco at home, like rookie. I know. Anyway, it was so great to see you again. I'll see you again soon, because we're going to call you about Long Island TV. And we're so proud to have you as a Long Island resident, and wish you safe travels.
You got it. And by the way, before we say goodbye, you also have another secret in Long Island that not many people know about.
Ooh, tell us.
That's MacArthur Airport.
Oh, yeah. So Peter, this is good. So every episode, because it's Spill the Tea, we spill the tea, and we have like secret kind of tea. So this is your tea.
It's Islip Airport. I mean, think about this. When Kennedy closes and Newark closes, Islip's open.
Yeah.
And so basically in the winter months, it's the secret airport. You can fly anywhere from there in the United States.
Yeah, Long Island MacArthur Airport in Islip is a total gem. And it goes from, you can take a direct flight almost anywhere through Philadelphia or through Baltimore.
Yeah.
Easy on either Southwest or American, and Frontier flies there too. It is a great, and it's so easy in and out. Yeah. I love it. It's like, it drops you pretty much in the middle of Long Island, so it saves you all of that traffic from Queens and all of that.
And the parking is cheap.
Parking is cheap. If you get a rental car there, it's so easy.
You're an Islip resident, right, Peter?
What was that?
I said it's super cheap if you're an Islip resident, right?
Well, I was about to tell you that. I just discovered that. And so I'm getting my permit for like $50 for 2 years. Are you kidding me?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Long
Island,
at that airport, you can't go to Kennedy Airport for 2 hours for $50.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a car service there is like over $100. So no, that's a great deal. And thank you for that. Thank you for mentioning it, because the Long Island MacArthur Airport is beautiful, and it's a gem, and the major carriers fly in and out of there, and it'll save you so much headache. We always say that, our hometown airport.
Yeah.
There you go.
We appreciate you, and we'll call you soon for Long Island TV.
You got it, guys.
Are you real quick before you go, are you vaccinated?
I get my first dose tomorrow because I'm a first responder, and then my second vaccination dose is on April 2nd.
So excited for you. Good. And I keep hearing like the pent up travel demand. Yeah. People are ready. Listen, and we're,
it's not just hearing it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen within the domestic markets in the United States. It's not going to be 2019 levels, but it's going to be measurable. It's coming back big time around the 15th of May. Get ready.
And then you would say international travel back in 2022?
Yes. International travel right now is essentially dormant. Meetings and conventions, probably not till 2023.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so from your lips, Peter, we're ready for a great Long Island summer, and we appreciate all that you do for the travel industry and for Long Island. So we'll talk to you soon.
You got it, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, Sharon, he was awesome.
He was so awesome. Oh my God, incredible.
And I learned so much about Fire Island. And Fire Island is like such a unique place with so many stories to tell, and it's so different from end to end. So it was really cool
that was
hearing
so
his perspective.
awesome.
So I'm really pumped about going on Long Island TV with him.
I know. I think he would be a great addition.
He's a big deal. It's not, you don't just get Peter Greenberg
I know.
to do your podcast or to do your show. Like, I used to pay big bucks to be on his radio show.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like he's really a world-renowned
he was awesome
contributor. So we're so grateful to have him, and I can't wait to do Long Island TV. So funny story is we were talking about our celeb, BFFs. Like BFFs earlier, and Alyssa was like, "Oh, Kristen Bell is mine." Another great one. I think another great one.
Yeah, incredible.
And I listened to Dax Shepard.
Yeah,
you do too.
they're adorable.
I think you turned me on to Dax Shepard. But funny story is my name is Kristen Bell.
I know. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, Kristen Bell. And I'll never forget Alyssa when she first came out with that show, something about Mars. What was her show or sitcom?
Something on Mars.
Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars. My mom called me. She's like, "Did you see there's a girl named Kristen Bell?
An actress?
There's a girl named Kristen Bell on TV." And I'm like, "Okay."
So cute.
Who is she? And she's a superstar. One of my favorite movies is Finding Sarah Marshall.
Yeah. Oh, incredible movie. Yeah.
She is.
She's so adorable.
Again, I think the common thread, like the women that we love, like approachable, like super talented, super amazing, but down to earth, approachable. Yeah. Very cool. But speaking of amazing women, one of the things is I saw, we're about to get into our tea.
Yeah.
Speaking of tea, I have my Long Island tea mug.
I know. I love it. I don't know where mine is.
You've already lost it.
I've already lost it. I think I brought it home.
Yeah, you took it home.
Yeah.
Probably for your coffee.
Yeah, for my coffee.
So, speaking of the tea, Sharon, you know what time it is?
It's tea time.
She's like, we actually got it. That was so subtle, the way yeah, we did it. Although I kind of like the mishap.
I know, it's
but it's cute. Okay, so yeah, we're in sync. Go ahead. What's your tea?
All right. So my tea this week is we are losing another employee who's moving on to bigger and better things. Actually, moving out of state, which is amazing.
It's not really that we're losing her. It's that.
She's making a life change.
She's growing her wings.
Yes, exactly. We couldn't be so more proud of her.
Look at Chris is like, what? Chris is like, what? Who?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not announced internally. Sorry.
Way to go, HR.
Wow.
Way to go, COO. She's like, we haven't formally announced
it. So, Nicole McElroy is moving on. And
McElroy,
sorry.
She's been here for how many years, and we still can't say her name right.
Poor girl.
Even in her exit, we're like, McElroy. Nope, it's McElroy. We probably, But, yeah. Go ahead, sorry. We love her. She's saying, this is why I'm leaving.
This is why I gotta go.
Learn my name.
Bye. No, she's leaving, so we are hiring again.
But can we just talk about Nicole for a second?
Yes, definitely.
Because Nicole is just adorable.
Oh, we love our Nicole.
She started as an intern.
Yeah.
Was she our first intern?
One of our first, yeah.
From St. Joe's College.
And I'll never forget, like, when we brought her in and interviewed her, she was like...
So shy.
Deer
in headlights.
Yeah.
Literally.
She was so cute. She was so cute.
She was like, but so talented. We've watched her grow in this organization from position to position. She's currently our marketing manager.
Yeah.
And she is just such a talent.
Yes. We will.
But she fell in love.
Yeah. She's got to go.
She fell in love with a boy, so she's moving to Florida in the sunshine.
I know. Good for her.
You know.
Well, if I could be that age and...
Also, you know, she fell in love with like her Orange Theory instructor.
I know.
So,
I know. There's like these two little workout buffs, you know? Like
they're so cute.
They're going to go live in Florida.
They're going to go live in Florida.
Rollerblade.
So she's so adorable. When I talked to her and she was so scared to tell us, so she was like, I'm going to fangirl you guys.
She's so cute.
From out, you know. So anyway, it's a good feeling. It's what we always want is for people in this organization to grow as much as they can within these walls,
right?
And then to grow.
That's my favorite part
yeah.
about this, like my position here, is just to see the staff that we bring on at such, you know, at the entry level positions and watch them grow to where they've been.
Yeah,
like Nikki, you know, our VP of Partner and Visitor Relations.
Yeah,
like
she's
she came in as an admin and just worked her way up.
And you and everybody. I mean,
it's my favorite part.
Yeah, it is true. I think we really work hard to give people here as many opportunities as we can to try new things and grow. And like Alyssa. Alyssa's graphic design. Now she's producer, podcast, and
it's just
everybody. And, you know, and Catherine was an intern and an office admin, and now our TikToker and, you
social strategist.
Yeah, we're excited. Great. So we're excited for Nicole, but it's another position.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, I'm feeling it. Like I said to Peter.
Oh, we are feeling it.
Peter, like I said to him, tourism is coming back, and it's going to come back strong.
Yeah.
It's been such a hard year for our industry, but I feel all this pent-up demand.
I know. It's awesome. Everything you've been telling me lately, like just things that are happening.
And
everyone's
hiring.
Yeah.
Including us.
Yeah. So it is an in-office position.
Yes.
And I will be posting the job description and everything like that.
Great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Our team's growing, and I love that people and everybody's growing. I was talking to a friend of ours that runs an ad agency, and a friend of ours that runs the new UBS arena.
Yeah,
and there's
amazing.
If you look at, I have this newsletter called The Travel Vertical, and they had like 90 tourism jobs. Ours is one of them from around the country.
Wow.
There was like almost 10 CEO jobs.
That's
around
amazing.
the country. There is so much growth and opportunity at every level.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And I always love giving people internally opportunities.
Absolutely.
As well as bringing in fresh blood.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's always good. It makes us better.
Yeah, definitely. It shakes it up a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that's good tea.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so my tea the last couple of times has been like work related based on the hot teas, which I love hot teas. Please hashtag hot teas. And it's HOTTEAS.
Right.
We should do that from now on.
Yeah.
Too. We should make sure we're hashtagging hot teas on our
true.
stuff. But I thought I would go more personal.
Okay.
And I just have to like mom brag for a minute.
Do it. I love it.
Okay, thanks, because I'm so proud of my girls, and they're both so cool. You know, I have Tegan who's 13 and Kenzie who's 16. And Tegan, they're such a like type A achievers, and I love
can't
that
imagine
about them.
why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know where they got that
I'm
from.
like, no pressure. What have you done today? No. But so Tegan's friends were all getting like National Honor Society letters, and she was melting down.
Oh.
Because Kenzie was in National Honor Society, and her stepsister's in National Honor Society, and all of her friends, and she's straight A, like AP student, and she hadn't gotten her letter yet. And I was like, well, you know, I don't know what the criteria is. Anyway, so she's like, please email my guidance counselor and just ask. And so I emailed her guidance counselor, and she's like, yeah, no, we sent the letter.
It's the mail.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I keep telling you this.
Mail. So they emailed me the letter that day.
Oh, that's
amazing. I was like,
amazing.
can you get this off the printer for me?
Oh,
and she pulled
so
it off and she's like, oh my
cute.
God, thank God. And it's really great. So
Oh
she's
my
in National
God,
Honor Society, and
congratulations. That's
she's
awesome.
so good, and they work so hard.
Yeah.
These schools here, by the way, are not average.
Right.
You know, so to get these accolades in these schools in particular is even like saying more. So I was really proud of her. And then Kenzie, who, I don't know if I told you this, and I'm sure I've told you, but I'm not sure I've told, you know, the hot teas, that she wants to be an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Kenzie has wanted to be a lawyer, my 16-year-old, since she was 9.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, she's going to be an amazing lawyer.
She was 9. She wants to be a lawyer. I do think it's probably because she saw Legally Blonde when she was 9. So
she loves it. But
I'm not kidding. Since then, she wants to go to Harvard Law. She's intent on it. She's dedicated. She's super into it. I remember when she was like, I want to say, was it 6th grade? They had this thing where they had like office or business school at her school, and everybody had a profession, and she was the lawyer of the town. And then at the last minute, they were like, oh, we're going to give Kenzie a promotion, and she's going to be the CEO. Oh. She came home bawling.
She was so mad.
She was like, I don't want to be the CEO. Mom. The CEO basically sells insurance. I don't want to sell insurance. I was the lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. And I had to call like the teacher and say, thank you so much. And I don't usually do that, but I was very hands off usually. But I was like, look, you don't
know what you just did to this little girl.
It's not often that somebody at the age of 9 or whatever knows what they want to do for a living. But Kenzie is impassioned. Anyway, so part of her preparation for being a lawyer is she joined the debate team.
Oh, good.
And she just got accepted to state.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Debate. I know. So we went shopping for professional attire last weekend
I'm
for
so
like
proud
blazers.
Of her.
I know.
That's so amazing.
And it's so funny because I was like, oh my God, what the last time when she was going through, I'm like, what's your topic?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, because I'm like, because I won in high school for extemporaneous speaking. So what's your topic? Maybe I can help you. And she's like, my topic is first right treaties of international destinations like China regarding to nuclear war. And I was like, oh,
all right.
She's like, what was your topic? I'm like, proofreading. I don't know. Never mind. Let it go. I went to school in Texas. Okay.
Good luck,
give
honey.
me a break. Give me a break. Anyway, so I just had to mom brag about
my God,
the girls because they're so amazing and they're products of Long Island schools.
Yeah.
And it is totally a gift to have them in this process and to be here. And I keep watching across the country, people trying to get their kids back in school full time, and our district has been back full time since day one. Yeah. And I give so much credit to the teachers and the administrators and the school districts here.
Just making sure that they're staying in school, staying in person.
It's not easy right now, and they've done it from day one. It's like when we came back day one.
Right.
People that are now trying to transition back, it's much more difficult.
Right, exactly.
We came back immediately, and it was hard, but we kind of ripped that Band-Aid, and I'm so glad we did, and I'm so glad the schools did. And so it's just another testament why Long Island's such a wonderful place to live and raise your kids and be a mom and work. So I thank you, Sharon, for telling me your celebrity, I was going to say crush. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, BFF. Girl crush. Yeah. And Alyssa, too. And thanks to Peter Greenberg.
Oh, my God, he was awesome.
So we have a great show in store for you next week. So make sure you continue to tune in, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Cheers.